6:30, we will call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Ronnie Bush.
Here.
Samuel Newton.
Here.
Luann Hayes.
Here.
Todd McKenna.
Here.
William Hadley.
Here.
Dale Diddens.
Here.
Lynette Williams. Here. Adam Otterow.
Here.
Larry Jogers.
Here.
Brooke Deininger. Scott Holmes.
Present.
Jackie DeMeester. Nicole Baker.
Present.
Steve Frick.
Present.
Brian Brandt. Tim Whalen.
Yes, ma'am.
14 present, 2 absent.
Thank you. Mr. Frick, would you lead us in prayer? And Ms. Hayes, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for each one of these members that are here this evening and for our public that's here. We ask that you would give us wisdom as we look at the decisions we make for our county. We ask that you would make those to be wise as well. And we thank you for each one of these members here in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I ask for approval of the agenda, I would just like to remind everyone to please make sure that they have the button pushed on their microphone and it is in front of you when you speak. May I get an approval of the agenda?
So moved.
By Mr. Bush. Is there a second? By Mr. Jogers. Any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda. Is there any item that any board member would like to have removed? Seeing none, is there an approval for the consent agenda?
So moved.
By Mr. Modero. Is there a second? By Mr. Whalen. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Adam Otterow.
Aye.
Larry Jogers.
Aye.
Scott Holmes.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester.
Aye.
Nicole Baker.
Aye.
Steve Frick.
Yes.
Tim Whalen.
Yes, ma'am.
Ronnie Bush.
Yes.
Samuel Newton.
Aye.
Luann Hayes.
Aye.
Todd McKenna.
Aye.
William Hadley.
Yes.
Dale Diddens.
Yes.
Lynette Williams.
Aye.
14 A, 0 nay, motion carries.
Thank you very much. Is there any public comment tonight? Seeing none, we will move into executive session 5 ILCS 120/2C11 litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent. Is there a motion to go into executive session? By Mr. Newton. Is there a second? By Ms. Hayes. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Samuel Newton.
Aye.
Luann Hayes.
Aye.
Todd McKenna.
Aye.
William Hadley.
Yes.
Dale Diddens.
Aye.
Lynette Williams.
Aye.
Adam Otterow.
Aye.
Larry Jogers.
Aye.
Scott Holmes.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester. Nicole Baker. Steve Frick.
Yes.
Tim Whalen.
Yes, ma'am.
Ronnie Bush.
Yes.
14 A, 0 nay, motion carries.
Okay, we are coming out of executive session. No action was taken while in executive session. Mrs. Baker.
Approval of payment agreements with Affinity Rehab in Grapetree Medical Staffing that was discussed in the executive session. I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Diddens. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
One in opposition. Motion carries. Next, we have the Greater Freeport Partnership, quarterly presentation by Andrea Schultz-Winter and Nicole Haas. Come on up, ladies. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you for having us. Nicole's bringing that up momentarily.
Sorry.
I'm going to go ahead and get started, Nicole. All right. Tonight's presentation will cover the highlights of our work and key focus areas in the first quarter. This information is also outlined in more detail in our monthly board reports and the first quarter report that you received in your packets already. Just a reminder that we're breaking down the presentation. We will be breaking down the presentation in our key focus areas of business retention and expansion, new business development and attraction, marketing the region, visitor attraction, advocacy and policy, and building partnership capacity. Some wins from the first quarter, some high-level highlights. An existing food manufacturer in Stephenson County announced plans for an expansion which will create an additional 40 jobs. We will hope to expand the boundaries for the Northwest Illinois Enterprise Zone to enable this project. Construction is slated for this summer. We hosted a vehicle manufacturer for site tours of existing buildings in Freeport. This is a direct result of our efforts promoting existing buildings and sites to intersect Illinois. The former Visitor Center building was sold late last year and is now home to AutoSmart. This business relocated from the Chicago Collar counties and is already planning an expansion. We started our second year of our entrepreneurship program Base Camp, and we will talk more about this later in our presentation. And in February, we held our annual dinner and recognized 10 individuals and businesses who are doing outstanding work. In relationship to business retention and expansion, key activities were, we visited with 33 businesses in the last quarter. Again, these are what help us understand what our businesses are faring, how they're doing, and how we can help. Some of the high-level kind of consistencies that we heard throughout these visits were geopolitical uncertainties and ever-changing tariff regulations have created interest in some sectors and paused investment in others. Many are still operating under the wait-and-see attitude. The economic climate informed our business support programming for this quarter. We had the Foreign Trade Zone coordinator talk about how the Foreign Trade Zone can help defer tariffs. And Illinois Manufacturing Excellence Center provided information on their supply chain portal. This is helpful for a business as they look to change their supply chain channels, if they're going to reshore, onshore, nearshore, and it also helps them market their product to other potential partners. We assisted 9 entrepreneurs with their business plans, and we helped 4 Freeport businesses apply for the DCEO Smart Business Grant Program. In relation to workforce, we brought the Midland Institute's CEO Entrepreneurship Leadership Program to our educational partners and business community. This program helps high school students learn how to start businesses and become community leaders. The program is currently under development and hopes to launch in fall of 2026. In a meeting with executives from Honeywell, they expressed their barriers to growth here in Freeport is workforce. In response, we are connecting Honeywell with Freeport High School, Career Tech, and Highland Community College to learn what educational pathways and training programs currently exist and how they can partner. Yesterday afternoon, a team from Honeywell and representatives from Freeport High School, Career Tech, and Highland toured classrooms, gathered an understanding of what career pathway curriculums currently exist, and how Honeywell can partner to expand their reach to their future workforce in the future. So more to come, but very productive conversations. In relationship to our housing need, the partnership is working with the NAACP Housing Committee and United Way to host a series of stakeholder engagement sessions. And in relationship to childcare, which we know is an ongoing concern, we distributed a survey gauging the impact of the childcare shortage to our employers. Responses will help develop a public information campaign we set to launch in the second quarter. In relation to new business development and attraction, we received 17 new business leads this quarter. 8 of those originated from the statewide organization Intersect Illinois. We were able to respond to 5 of those leads because we had existing buildings or sites that were suitable for the company. We could not respond to 3 because we didn't have acreage large enough, or we didn't have an existing building that was large enough or met the building's criteria, or the company's criteria, excuse me. 9 leads originated from local businesses and or government agencies. 4 of those were new businesses to the area, and 5 were existing businesses that were relocating or hoping to expand. And we are following up and working those 14 active leads. I'm now going to turn the presentation over to Nicole, who's going to talk about membership and marketing.
The Greater Freeport Partnership was delighted to have 18 new members in the first quarter of the year. That is the highest of any quarter in 2024, which brings us to a total of 408 members. It's also the highest retention rate in several quarters, as we exceeded even last quarter's 96.7% retention to almost 98%. So, and as Bill says, a lot of our new members are coming from referrals of existing members, which is what we really love to see. That means that our existing members are finding great value in what we do and want other people to be a part of that. Base Camp is our business academy for small businesses and entrepreneurs. It's the second year we have had this program. There were 6 3-hour sessions over a course of 12 weeks, so every 2 weeks, and then 1 additional session for nonprofits. We do have several nonprofit organizations looking to start, and so that was hosted by the Community Foundation, who is one of our top funders for this program as well. Business sectors represented are very diverse and have even had some people, starting a business is great, but also realizing maybe starting a business is not right for you, or maybe it's not the right time. And we've had some of those people as well who have pivoted to new business models or new ideas that they think might be a little bit more viable. In marketing the region, we created and now distributed, because you all have one too, the 2025 All-In Stephenson County Community Guide. These were just delivered last Wednesday, so you're going to start to see them a little bit more around the area. We have a part-time staff person who helps us get those around the region. We also created and have distributed and run out of the first printing of our Rediscover Your Downtown brochure. That the primary focus of that is cross-promoting all of our downtown locations. So if you come downtown for one store, being able to tell them what else they could go see while they're downtown. Our talent attraction and retention plans for this year involved having an outside consultant come in and really evaluate the tools that the partnership is using to recruit talent to this area, and maybe where we are missing some of those key strategies. So that team, named Roll Call, has done a number of stakeholder sessions, some with county employee input as well, and they were boots on the ground here in Stephenson County last week, and they'll be presenting their full report later in the second quarter. We also co-hosted the Illinois Underground Railroad exhibit with the Lincoln Douglas Society and the Freeport Public Library for resident education and information. As a reminder, the partnership is the liaison between Lincoln Douglas Society and Looking for Lincoln, which is a national heritage area celebrating our 16th president. In the visitor attraction realm, visitor campaigns have been finalized, and we look forward to having all of that slate in early May, which, my goodness, is coming oh so quickly, with the Choose Your Adventure and Rediscover Your Downtown themes. Despite the decreased occupancy that we had brought forth in the quarters of last year, actually in getting all of the final reports and STAR data, occupancy tax itself was up, which means the revenue per room was up, probably because of a decrease in business rates. If you're a member of a larger business conglomerate and you get a corporate rate, that is a lot cheaper than what you and I pay if we're going for a Friday or Saturday night at a hotel. And we are also organizing passport programs for additional visitation to some of our attractions. We reignited the very popular Northwest Illinois Ale Trail with the 3 breweries in Stephenson County and 4 of Joe Davis County. Again, that's a great cross promotion. And then also very excited that our local historical museums have decided to do something similar. So throughout the summer months, you'll get a similar rat card passport. And if you go around and visit all of the museums, they will mark that, and then you will get a token to show that you were part of that as well. And we're very happy to see the engagement amongst so many of our local historical museums. And with that, we'll take your questions.
Questions at all? I have, go ahead, Mrs. Williams.
The question I would have is, I see the downtown, lots of empty buildings. How are you addressing that? Or what created that? Are the rents too high? I mean, I don't know. Do you know?
Great question. And I think that there's no one answer for all of those in terms of business departure. I think some of it is understanding or changing of the business model and looking at overhead. So as the economy gets tight, depending on your business model, you might pivot in terms of, one local restaurant that we have that we're all sorry to see leave is pivoting to do more catering, as opposed to having walk-through restaurant traffic. And with that, there's a lower overhead and a different price point. Some other businesses, I think it's succession planning. They're looking to get out of the business. We are going to be putting on a succession planning program later this year. I think it's always we talk about business retention visits, that is key in understanding where the owner is in its life cycle of the business so that we can help them build an off-ramp for their business that might not mean closure. In terms of spaces vacant, the other thing that we're doing, it is our goal that obviously all ground floor spaces are filled with a retail or service business, but that building owners start to utilize all floors of their building. It's a different monetary structure. I mean, you're going to cash flow the entire building, but you're also going to have some sort of investment to get upper floors that would be, we hope, geared towards residential. Again, it takes conversations, and I think building those connections with the building owner to understand what their goals are and where they are in the life cycle of their building ownership. Some of them don't have interest in redevelopment. Would they be willing to sell to someone who does? How can we help facilitate that connection? So I don't have a quick, short answer for you. That's a great question, but I think it's us constantly working and meeting with those business and building owners to understand where they are and help design a solution that works for them and get a new business in there. And I think that's always what our goal with the base camp is. We need to continue to grow our own small business. Downtown is a great space for business incubators in terms of small businesses to start. Most of the rents are lower than you might find in other commercial corridors within the community. They also are typically smaller in size. The square footage is less, which makes it also more affordable.
So you do this now, or you will be doing it?
Yes, and. We do it now. We will continue to do it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Go ahead, Mr. Business.
Hello.
This may not be in your wheelhouse,
Okay.
but in Stephenson County and Freeport, Illinois, do we make it too easy for people to not have to work? There's always restaurants and bars and factories looking for people. You know, we're not at zero unemployment, and we never have that, and
Right,
we never
right,
will be.
right.
I don't know how people, workforce, they say overall in the country's down. Are we just making it too easy on people? I mean, how are they living without working?
I can't answer that question for you, but what I can say is we do know that there are open positions. There are open positions that pay well. We are always trying to help connect that employer to future workforce or other pools of workers. We have worked with Stephenson County Probation Department in the past, as well as Goodwill has an reentry program in trying to match some of those candidates up to employers. So I don't think I have a direct answer for you, but it is really, I'm always curious when people say there are not jobs available. It's not true. There are jobs available. It might require some training, and then there are avenues to secure that training as well.
There isn't really a place that would have a list of, like an unemployment office, so you just go to your unemployment office. They will send you out to location.
Sure. So my first, if someone is looking for a job or looking for assistance in getting a job, my first point of contact would be the Workforce Connections. And the Workforce Connections has recently, somewhat recently moved in there now in the 524 building on Stephenson Street. I think they're on the second floor. And they can be a great resource and help an individual kind of search for jobs, help put a resume together, help with interview skills. Yeah, great question.
Anyone else? Mrs. Demeester.
Yeah, there might be some jobs out there, but the pay for their jobs is nothing. So I think that's where the problem is too.
I think that there's definitely a variety in pay scale. I know we just searched yesterday that there were 10 open positions at Honeywell. And I think the hourly rate there was well above minimum wage. So there are, again, some of those might require some credentials to be able to be to apply, but they are. I know they're looking.
But how many did you say?
Those were 10.
10.
So it's not an exhaustive search, but yes.
No.
Yeah.
Else? I would ask in July when we come back
Yes.
to do the second quarter, if you would fill us in on what your goals are for 2025.
Sure.
And if you've done any sort of measuring to see where you're at 6 months through the year, what's worked, what hasn't worked, if you're pivoting.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Great.
Be happy to.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I will move on to the chairman's report, the budget policy. The first presentation of that went through finance. Not trying to steal your thunder here, Mr. Whalen, but I would implore all board members to get a copy of that, review it. It will be back in front of finance in May for approval for the 2026 budget exercise that we will be taking shortly. I'm sorry? I did. I apologize. Thank you. I already flipped my page over. Mrs. Henning, would you come up for zoning, please?
Good evening.
Good evening.
The Zoning Board of Appeals hearing was held Thursday, April 17th, 2025. A full quorum was present. Barrett Steck with Bears Cycle and Restoration is requesting a special use to allow for and make legal an existing motorcycle repair and restoration business located at 212 Sunset Drive in Orangeville. Testimony was given and no objectors were present. With a voice vote of 4-0, the ZBA recommends approval by this board.
Is there a motion to approve? By Mr. Jogerst, is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Diddens, any discussion? Mr. Frick?
Just a question, Orangeville has nothing to do with this at all, it's all.
They do not. He is right on the border. Just to the east of him is Orangeville, to the south of him is Orangeville, to the west and north is county.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any other information, Mrs. Henning?
Yes. The second hearing and final hearing of the evening was for Scott and Renee Phelps. Mr. and Mrs. Phelps are requesting a special use to allow for a single-family dwelling in the Ag District. located at 14649 West Hershey Road in Pearl City. With a voice vote of 4-0, the ZBA recommends approval by this board.
Is there a motion to approve? By Mr. Newton, is there a second? By Mrs. Hayes, any discussion? Mr. Frick, can you use your microphone? Thank you.
This is the one that was, already had a special use request before, and now we're renewing it because that one was out. I just wanted to make sure people.
It was approved prior to 2006. County code stated any special use prior to 2006 had an expiration. So anything now after then does not expire without a hearing.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Your final item? That's it. All right. Thank you very much. All right, I'll move on to the chairman's report. I think I've already discussed the budget policy, so again, Mr.
Isn't there
Whalen?
another resolution, Mr. Chairman?
I did have another on my agenda, Mrs. Henning.
I think that,
We'll move it down, no problem. So the budget policy, again, if you have not had an opportunity to review, you can find it in the finance packet that was sent out last week. Please give it a look over. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, anything like that, please get with Mr. Whalen before the May finance meeting. Also, Mr. Modero will be attending the UCCI Leadership Academy on behalf of the County Board in Champaign. Thank you for your willingness to do that. The annual conference for UCCI at Eagle Ridge Resort in Galena will be July 27th, 28th, and 29th. I know that's a ways off, but please mark your calendars. If you have any desire to go to that, please let me know. Also, on Monday, I'll be meeting with Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara, Joe Shirelli, the County Board Chairman, and Freeport Mayor Jody Miller to establish a youth leadership council here in Stephenson County that will mirror what is going on in Rockford and Winnebago County. So looking to work better and more efficiently with the city of Freeport, and I think this will be a good opportunity for us to do that. It's a very successful program in Rockford and Winnebago County, and we're hoping we can mirror that here. If there's nothing else on that, I will move to proclamations. And Nicole Hass, if you wouldn't mind coming up and reading the GFP National Travel and Tourism Week proclamation, please. Thank you for doing that.
I'd be happy to. The Greater Freeport Partnership works on behalf of Freeport and Stephenson County as the tourism partner to promote and grow our region, and whereas the travel industry is essential to the success of every industry and will continue to be a critical part of Stephenson County's economy, development, and workforce, and whereas travel is an economic powerhouse for every state and destination across the country, with an economic output of $2.9 trillion, supporting 1 out of every 11 American jobs. And whereas travel spending supports vibrant and safe communities in Stephenson County and across the United States by generating $4.3 billion in Illinois tax revenue in 2024 to support essential services such as education, emergency response, public education, and more. And whereas travel enables success for all industries, including manufacturing, agriculture, defense, healthcare, and more by driving sales growth, innovation, education, and operations that power our economy, our nation, and Stephenson County. And whereas Freeport and Stephenson County generated $53 million in tourism spending with local retailers, restaurants, transportation expenses, and lodging. And whereas small businesses account for more than 60% of leisure and hospitality employment. And whereas hospitality and tourism ranks 10th among employment sectors in Illinois. And whereas travel is an essential industry that we must continue to communicate that growing travel leads to economic growth, benefits businesses, fosters mutual understanding, and connects the nation. Therefore, we, the Greater Freeport Partnership, ask that the Stephenson County Board do hereby proclaim May 4th through the 10th National Travel and Tourism Week in Stephenson County and urge citizens to join them in recognizing the essential role this industry plays in our economy.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve? Mr. Diddens, is there a second? By Mr. McKenna? Did you make that second, Todd? Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That is approved. I have a few other proclamations. Next is the proclamation for abate. Whereas safety is the highest priority for the highways and streets of our township and state, and the great state of Illinois is proud to be a national leader in motorcycle safety, education, and awareness. Whereas motorcycles are a primary, common, and economical means of transportation that reduces fuel consumption and road wear and contributes in a significant way to the relief of traffic and parking congestion. And whereas it is especially meaningful that the citizens of our township and state be aware of motorcycles on the roadways and recognize the importance of motorcycle safety. And whereas the members of Abate of Illinois Incorporated, a brotherhood aimed towards education, continually promote motorcycle safety, education, and awareness in high school driver's education programs and to the general public in our township and state, presenting motorcycle awareness programs to over 120,000 participants in Illinois over the past 9 years. And whereas all motorcyclists should join Abate of Illinois Incorporated in actively promoting the safe operation of motorcycles, as well as promoting motorcycle safety, education, awareness, and respect of the citizens of our township and state. And whereas motorcyclists of Illinois have contributed extensive volunteerism and money to national and community charitable organizations. And whereas during the month of May, all roadway users should unite in the safe sharing of roadways within the county of Stephenson and throughout the state of Illinois. Therefore, I, Scott Helms, Chairman of the Board of Stephenson County in the state of Illinois, in recognition of 38 years of Abate of Illinois and over 352,318 registered motorcyclists statewide, and in recognition of the continued role Illinois serves as a leader in motorcycle safety, education, and awareness, I do hereby proclaim the month of May, this 2025, as Motorcycle Awareness Month. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
By Mrs. Williams. Is there a second? Mr. Frick. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next proclamation is for National Telecommunications Week. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Stephenson County Communications Center. And whereas the public safety telecommunicator is the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas the public safety telecommunicator is the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Stephenson County Communications Center has contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. Whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during their performance of their job in the past year. Therefore, be it resolved that the County of Stephenson, Illinois declares the week of April 13th through the 19th, 2025 to be National Telecommunicators Week in Stephenson County in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and citizens safe. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Mr. Modero. Is there a second? Mr. Jogerst. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And the final proclamation I have is for the National Day of Prayer. Whereas the Stephenson County Board recognizes that the United States of America was founded on the precepts of freedom, liberty, diversity, and the right of people to acknowledge God according to the dictates of their own conscience. And whereas, since our nation's founding, Americans have turned to God in times of trial for wisdom, courage, direction, comfort, and at the same time to express gratitude. And whereas this is a time of international distress, we give thanks for the men and women of our military who stand as watchmen on the wall to defend our nation and the future of democracy and civilization. And whereas even though this is a time of uncertainty and distress, we give thanks that the United States of America has been blessed beyond measure. We are continually grateful for our families, the abundance of our land, and our inalienable rights and liberties. And whereas the President of the United States of America has called on all citizens to seek God's continued guidance, grace, and protection for this land, and to reaffirm the role of prayer in our society, and to honor the religious diversity that our freedom permits by recognizing the first day of May 2025 as a National Day of Prayer, with a theme of "Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty," and the text of "Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty." Therefore, in recognition of Stephenson County's need for inspiration, strength, guidance, and divine direction, I, Scott Helms, Chairman of the Stephenson County Board, do hereby proclaim Thursday, May 1st, 2025, as the National Day of Prayer in Stephenson County. I invite Stephenson County residents to pray for God's protection, for peace throughout the world, and to seek a moral and spiritual renewal, and to express gratitude for our blessings. I urge the citizens of Stephenson County to join in observing this day with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Is there a motion to approve? By Mr. Newton, is there a
I
second?
will second that.
By Mr. Whalen. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. By Mr. Modero. Motion passes. The clerk is... yes, thank you. Do I have that one? Come on up, I need a drink.
Stephenson County recognizes 2025 Economic Development Week. The Greater Freeport Partnership works on behalf of Freeport and Stephenson County as the economic development partners to promote and grow our region. And whereas economic development fuels industry and will continue to be an essential part of Freeport and Stephenson County's economy, development, and workforce as an essential industry that leads economic growth, benefits businesses, and fosters mutual understanding. And whereas the economic development profession cultivates thriving neighborhoods, champions sustainability and resiliency, boosts economic prosperity, enhances the quality of life, and builds a robust tax bases. And whereas economic development stimulates and incubates entrepreneurism in order to help establish the next generation of new businesses, which is a hallmark of the American economy. And whereas economic development professionals serve as stewards, bridging connections between community stakeholders such as residents, business leaders, elected officials, industry executives, and educational administrations to collaborate in promoting job creation, community investment, infrastructure and advancements, and an optimistic future. And whereas economic development supports vibrant and safe communities in Freeport and Stephenson County by generating state and local tax revenue to support essential services such as education, emergency response, public safety, and more. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Greater Freeport Partnership, ask Stephenson County Board to recognize Economic Development Week, May 12th through 16th, 2025, and remind individuals of the importance of this community celebration, which supports expanding opportunities, bettering lives, and moving society forward. Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Mr. Whalen, second by Mrs. Hayes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. We'll move on now to appointments. We have the approval of 2 reappointments for the Board of Health, Siobhan Savella and Dr. Robert Geller. Is there a motion to approve them individually or together?
I make a motion that we approve them together.
Okay, and second by Mr. Frick. Is there any discussion? And just so you know, we do a brief background check on all appointments, in case anybody was wondering. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One in opposition. Thank you. Motion carries. We'll move on to action items and information from committees. Mr. Whalen, you have an action item.
Do you want me to do the property resolution first? Are we moving that down?
No, that will be in planning and development.
Okay, that's right. Sorry, Steve. I will, let's see.
This is the approval of the resolution to amend.
Yes, so resolution to amend the fiscal 25-year budget pursuant to Chapter 55, Section 5/6, 1003 of the Illinois Compiled Statutes. Whereas the capital fund will incur expenses which will result in expenditure of funds not budgeted for, and whereas in order to ensure adequate funding for the capital fund, it is necessary to increase the amounts within the budget to cover these expenditures. Whereas the cash carry forward previously budgeted would fund the proposed additional appropriations, and the proposed increase in the Stephenson Nursing Center HVAC line item is available. Therefore, be it resolved by 2/3 of the vote of the members of the constituting the county board. The board hereby appropriates the following line items in the following amount. Line number 014-606-742.09. This is going towards the Stephenson Nursing Center HVAC program that was not completed last year. We needed to allocate another $13,000 to finish that project. And I would so move to do that at this time.
Is there a second? By Mrs. Baker. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Madam. Oh, Mrs. Williams, go ahead.
I always have multiple questions. So you're putting this into the line item. So where does the money come from?
Capital fund.
Is the capital fund got like just tons of money just floating around that we can
I don't
do
know
this?
how you define tons. No, there's roughly 200,000 in there.
That is like a, for lack of a better word, I would call it like a float?
I don't know what that means. There's money available for capital expenditures in the 2025 budget.
I need to get more education. Thank you.
I would see the finance director. She can help you with that. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Tim Whalen,
Aye.
Ronnie Bush. Samuel Newton. Luann Hayes. Todd McKenna. William Hadley.
Yes.
Dale Diddens.
Aye.
Lynette Williams.
Aye.
Adam Mottero.
Aye.
Larry Jogers.
Aye.
Scott Holmes.
Aye.
Jackie DeMeester. Nicole Baker. Steve Frick.
Yes.
13A, 1 nay, motion carries.
Any other information out of your committee, Mr. Whalen?
Not this time, Mr. Chairman. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. We'll move on to public property and safety. Mr. Bush, no action items. Any information out of your committee, sir?
Sheriff Stovall reported to the committee that the public elevator in front of the courthouse will be inspected Thursday. It now has a phone and a camera and fire suppression update on it. The Helms Group was waiting for the last inspection at the jail, and the work is complete. The sheriff did inform the committee of the Katrina law, which is now in effect. What that law is that if someone is filing for a domestic violence, a court order, they could mark on there to have their guns, a warrant to have their guns removed from that person because of Katrina was murdered by her significant other. So now that the state had made that a law that now they could be able to go. The sheriff he has some concerns, but he just wants to inform the committee about that. The Clean and Serve RFP is due Thursday and will be ready for discussion next month. The coroner, the emergency, Mr. Thompson, he reported back to the committee about the office met with the IEMA disaster service and recorded planning specialist on the 12th of March at Hanover. He did discuss about the warehouse fire that was Saturday on Stephenson Street. I'm quite sure everybody knew about that. Mr. Helverson, the county coroner, stated that in February there was about 46 deaths, 1 accidental, 45 natural, and had 0 autopsies. In March there was 53 deaths, 3 deaths was accidental, 2 suicide, 48 deaths were natural, and 8 autopsy. The committee did vote and approve of purchasing the vehicle for the coroner. That vehicle was on a lease program, and it came to term, so the payoff was $6,603.27. The committee voted to purchase that vehicle with a 4-0 vote. And that's it.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move on to administration. Mr. Jogers, do you have an action item?
Yep, thank you, Chairman. We only had one item come through, and that was the CrowdStrike renewal. And as the IT manager, Mr. Louie, was talking to CrowdStrike, I'll give you a little background on this. He found out we might be eligible for the state and local program. So he checked into it, and we are. So he was able to get us into that for this $45,000 and save us $45,000 per year. The state's attorney, Mr. Larson, has reviewed the contract and said it's okay. So I'd make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second? By Mrs. Hayes. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One in opposition, motion carries. Any other information out of your committee, Mr. Jogers?
Not a whole lot. There was quite a bit of conversation about the election that just passed, and a lot going on, a lot of work there, right, County Clerk? And County Administrator had a lot of items that she was attending, and the Treasurer's been doing a great job of issuing CDs and stuff to keep some money going on money that's available there. So that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to court services. Mr. Diddens.
Chairman?
Yep.
We have one action item, it's a
Sure.
lease agreement.
Dale, is your microphone on?
When do I, oh,
There
sorry,
we go.
pushed the wrong button.
Thank you.
The approval of a lease agreement with OSPS, the Office of the State Pretrial Services. It's basically just a name change, the way I understand it. We used to do the pretrial services, and then the state was doing them, and now the state has taken over, and they're basically paying us to rent space now. I think it's $141 a month, if I'm not, I can't get my link to open, so I don't have the details, but it's basically just a name change. So I would make a motion that we approve this lease agreement.
Is there a second? By Mr. McKenna. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any other information out of your committee?
Yes, just to finalize the youth diversion program. We had 2 organizations ask for money. We had $9,146, something like that. And RAMP requested $2,000. We gave it to we gave it to them. And then Twin Image Counseling asked for $3,000. They are a counseling service here in town, and they have plans for some youth programs. So we awarded them the $3,000 too. So next year we should have a great sum of money to divvy up. We need to maybe do a better job of getting the information out about youth service program. That's it, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diddens. Mrs. Baker, nursing, you have an action item.
Yep, approval of bad debt write-off from Matrix from the previous year in the amount of $91,605.71. With that, I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Diddens. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One in opposition, motion carries. Any other information?
Yes, so at the beginning of the month, they held their Easter egg hunt. I know they posted pictures out on social media, so you can see those. We did receive reports from our new billing company. I encourage everybody to go out and look at them. Also, take notes on the side. There's notes that's for each one that it kind of explains everything. Census is at 48, and that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Mr. Frick, we'll move on to your item. You have 2, actually, if you want to go back up to the top under zoning for the approval of resolution for the transfer of properties, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sure. First of all, we have approval of a resolution. Approval of a resolution transferring properties, one on Charles Street, one on Mary Street, one on East Jackson, and one on East Stephenson in the East Stephenson Street corridor. Where these was discovered that we own these properties within the city, and we're transferring them back to the city. With that, a motion to approve. I make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Mr. Jogurst has the second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And your other item, Mr. Frick.
We have a motion to approve the Greater Freeport Partnership's request to expand the enterprise zone boundary for Stephenson, which is the cheese factory out on US 20 west of Lena. They're looking, and she's already talked to you about the expansion going on there, so a motion to approve that expansion of the E-zone. I make that motion.
Thank you. Second by Mr. Whalen. Is there any discussion on that? Mrs. Williams.
The map is attached to this, and I know how to read this, but I'm wondering exactly where the property's at. I didn't see a tax parcel number attached to the request. Is it this large industrial site here?
Yes.
And that's not in the enterprise zone right now, is that correct?
It was previously when the maps were redrawn. It was inadvertently left off.
Ah, okay.
It was in there previously.
So where does the enterprise zone have to have a contiguous?
Correct.
So is it to the north of this?
Andrea?
I see yellow and green lines, that's why I'm questioning it.
So yes, you're correct. The Northwest Illinois Enterprise Zone, or any enterprise zone, has to be contiguous. There's a 3-foot wide connection strip that usually runs up the right-of-way, and that will connect from further south, New Queso and Pearl Valley Eggs. So it'll just continue north. This, again, was in the enterprise zone. In the previous zone, it was inadvertently, when the new zone was created in 2020, it was inadvertently missed. And so the 3 parcels that are highlighted on the map are all owned by Stephenson. We would be requesting the state add all 3 parcels, into the zone.
Okay, 100, 001, 009, and 010? Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One in opposition, motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Frick?
Just one thing, I do want to commend Mrs. Henning for her work that she's been doing with the zoning board and with the zoning board of appeals, and working with individuals that have issues with their properties to get those issues resolved. She's been doing a really great job and really appreciate her work. Thank you.
Great, thank you for that. All right, we will move on to Public Works. Mr. Newton, no action items, any information out of your committee?
Maybe one additional thing. We did approve for additional work with safer streets. And so if there's any information, I know Dale is here, that was a discussion we had. And so we've had quite a bit of success working with Black Hawk Hills on that. So that's something that we might get funding for in the future. So hopefully we continue to work well with them. So.
Great, thank you very much. Move on to new business. Can I get a motion to approve the change for the county board meeting in May from May 15th to May 13th? By Mr. Whalen, second by Mr. Jogurst. We have scheduling conflict for the 15th, so is there any discussion, concerns? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn? By Mr. McKenna, seconded by Mrs. Hayes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.